All right, the Detroit Lions just won the NFL free agency before the thing even started, and they went out and they re-signed a couple players that they know are good for them. They re-signed a couple of players that are at our defensive coordinators, our new defensive coordinators, core position, that is linebacker. So in this video, we're going to talk to you about those two players. We're going to talk about the contract. We're going to talk about the role they are going to play. And then finally, we're going to talk about, do I think this was a good signing or not? Here's the deal. Sometimes in the NFL, the best free agent signings are those in your backyard. Brad Holmes has talked about this. He's talked about how when you have homegrown talent, you know what you're getting. You know they fit in your system. You know exactly how they work for you and your team. When you go outside of your team, you are now wondering, like, is it going to be a good fit? Now, when we've gone outside, it traditionally has gone okay. It has. But when we've re-signed our own players, this has ended up going really, really well. We brought Alex Anzalone in for a trial period. It went well. We re-signed him. It went even better. Players do not get worse on their second contract with the Detroit Lions. That has been pretty commonplace. So it has gone really, really well, and they really do value doing things like that. So who are the two players that we signed? The first one is Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes has re-signed with the Detroit Lions off of his rookie contract. It is a 3-year contract. I want to make sure that that's known for everybody. It is a 3-year contract worth $25.5 million. Now, of that $25.5 million, $16 million of it is fully guaranteed. So that's my question to you right off the bat. Do you like the Derek Barnes signing? Do you like the cost? This immediately makes him somewhere in the mid-teens as far as linebackers. I think that makes him like the 14th or 16th, we'll just call it 15th, highest paid linebacker. Is that fair? Is that fair? He is going to play a very unique role for the Detroit Lions. And I think this is important to remember. Derek Barnes was drafted in 2021. He was a 4th-round pick. So this is a home run draft pick for a 4th-round pick. To get a consistent, solid starter with a 4th-round pick is not easy. All right. He has carved out a role on this team over those last 4 years. All right. Originally, he was a special teams weapon. He played at will, which is weak inside linebacker, right? Over his first 2 years. In year 3, he played primarily as Mike, and then they shifted him to Sam in 2024. Now, he only played 120 snaps before getting hurt, but he was much better at that position. But here's the best thing about Barnes. Not only can he play that role of Sam, which we'll talk about in a minute, but he also can be the primary backup for Alex Anzalone and Jack Campbell at will and at Mike. In other words, middle and weak side. All right. So those are two positions that are always on the field for the Lions, the will and the Mike. The Sam comes on and off the field. All right. Now, the Sam linebacker is unique from a traditional strong side linebacker role for the Lions. All right. There still has to drop back in coverage, but there's some things that there has to do for the Lions that's different. All right. Yeah, they still have to stop the run from an off the ball roll. Detroit also expects their Sam linebackers to be able to hold up at the line of scrimmage. In other words, set the edge. They have to be able to set the edge. They have to be able to rush the passer. That is a hard range of skill set to develop, to drop back in coverage, to be able to play a stand-up, stop the run role, to be able to set the edge, and to be able to rush the passer. It takes a very unique skill set, and it is a skill set that they mightily struggled to fill last year. They had Jack Campbell try and do it. Nope, that didn't work. They had Trevor Nowaski try to do it. I still say you re-sign him to that futures deal. We talked about that. But they have absolutely secured 3 starters at the linebacker position now, and it's going to be familiar. And I think that's a perfect role and a perfect spot for it to be familiar because our new defensive coordinator is the linebackers coach. That's where he comes from, Shep. That's where he is. So to be able to have that room stay consistent, everything he does, when we looked at Aaron Glenn, a lot of the stuff started at the back end. Dan Campbell talked about that. A lot of it started at the back end and worked its way forward. Shepard's going to do a little bit more of a holistic approach on the defense, but the linebackers are going to be the key components in this because that's what he did. That's how he sees it. A linebacker sees the field on defense similar to a quarterback on offense. And Shepard has always been a cerebral player. So to have three players that have been in this same system for the last 4 years, it is very important to have consistency at the linebacker position. And he is good. But let me tell you a couple other things with this contract. When we look at this contract, what it does is it's basically a 2-year guarantee contract. Now, the numbers haven't come out yet, but generally when you see a 3-year contract for $25 million and $16 million of it's guaranteed, generally those first 2 years eat up almost the entirety of the guaranteed money. And that third year is just tacked on. And if he's playing awesome, they'll keep him around, probably restructure the contract and extend him, right? That's what they'll do. But it sets up perfectly with another guy. Now, when you look at this, this is the contract for Alex Anzalone. That's what this is. And he is 31 this year, and he is making $7.2 million. So you bring in Derek Barnes, who's going to be making roughly $8.5 million a year, not roughly, $8.5 million a year. And so that replaces the Alex Anzalone contract next year and then going forward. This is something that I think is not really thought of often is, hey, we're stacking contracts so they can replace each other so the salary cap doesn't balloon and inflate as well. Now, he is not the only linebacker that the Lions are signing. They have also, now at first was reported that Anthony Pittman is re-signing with the Detroit Lions. Now we're hearing that it's just a matter of time. This is reported by Dave Burkett. Dave Burkett does not report false information. He does a fantastic job, and it's good to have Pittman back. This is a guy that in a pinch can play linebacker on the defense. It's in a pinch, though. His job has been a 4-phase special teamer. We've talked about bringing him back. We have talked about how many snaps. He has consistently played more snaps on special teams in a regular season than he does on the defensive side. And bringing back bringing back Anthony Pittman for the special teams role was even more increased with the news that Jalen Reeves-Maybin will not be or will be released and will not be returning to the team. So bringing in that guy. So now you have a linebacker room that completely makes sense. You have a linebacker room that has Alex Anzalone. It has Jack Campbell. It has Barnes. It has Rodriguez. And now you add Pittman. There's your 5. Sometimes you get to 6. You got Beauplan and you got Deron Gilbert. All these guys have been here for multiple or for at least a year, but most of them 2, 3, 4 years in the system. They know it well. And it's a good, solid linebacker room that is going to be asked to do a lot and will be the focal point of the defense this year. These are 2 really good signings. Happy to see them. The deal is good enough that I give the signing a B. But if he's healthy, I think Derek Barnes could wreak some serious havoc. I think he could wreak some serious havoc in the NFL this year. All right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.